I was born in Birmingham in 1960. My mother is from Wexford in Ireland. My father's from St. Kitts in the Caribbean. And my mother became a Jehovah's Witness, and she became a Jehovah's Witness when I was 6. And that is a cult. And everything you speak about, not about being in, and if you're in, but you can't leave. It's hard to leave. It's embarrassing, it's shameful to leave. So we had that shit going on. And my parents didn't get on at all. They operated as two separate people. My father came to the UK for 5 years, and he came for 5 years. I'll make some money, I'll go home. That was the plan.
This is to St. Kitts, yeah?
Sorry?
To St. Kitts,
To
yeah?
St. Kitts,
Yeah.
yes. That's what he called. He'd never call England home or our house home. Home was away. And so what you don't do, if that's your plan, is meet an Irish woman that doesn't believe in birth control. And so within 7 years, he's got 5 kids. And he was disappointed about that, although obviously he's shagging my mum, so consequences. So he was just like still waiting to go home, Meanwhile, my mother, who would have had 20 children, becomes a Jehovah's Witness. So she's waiting for her paradise. And her paradise is when Jehovah brings Armageddon and kills all the bad people, including all of our cousins, all of our friends, everybody that isn't a Jehovah's Witness, which is most of the world. And
It's quite a major operation.
It's quite a major thing.
Yeah.
But we were brought up with that and we believed it.
Yeah.
And everybody bad was going to die. And that, of course, included me. I like boys. I've had a fag by the time I'm 10. I stole money out of my dad's trouser pocket. So I was going to die. And so I was brought up to think, because Armageddon was going to come in 1975, I would have been 15. And so I believed I would never leave school, never have children, nothing. I was going to die at 15. Absolutely. That was a certainty I grew up with, and I believed it 100%. And so that was my childhood, this waiting to die. And then obviously I left home when I was 16, because if you weren't a Jehovah's Witness, you had to leave home.
Yeah.
And when I left home, sex, drugs and rock and roll, because I'm going to die. And I'm waiting for Armageddon, and Armageddon's going to come really soon. So I had to pack it in. I had to have the drugs. I had to sleep with that guy. I had to have it all because I was going to die.
Ticking. I mean,
Clock is ticking.
Yeah.
Might as well get hung for a sheep as a lamb. So I was like, have it.
This celestial edition of Countdown.
Absolutely. And by the time I'm 21, I'm absolutely fucked because the end hasn't come. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, can I stop this now? It's obviously not going to come, and I'm a wreck. My father wouldn't spend any money on us because he wanted to go home. And my mother had like 7 or 8 jobs to make ends meet and feed us and him. And we never knew if we were going to eat. We just never knew. You'd come home from school, there might be dinner, there might not be, usually wasn't. We didn't know on Sundays if my dad wasn't working, he might cook, he might not. So food was very hit and miss. We didn't eat for a couple of days. Sometimes I went to hospital when I was about 7 because I was malnourished. I was very ill all the time. We had, terrible childhood in that way, physically, cold, always cold. Then good things might happen. So if it was bad, it was spontaneous. If it was bad, it was unpredictable. You didn't know if you were going to eat. If it was good, you didn't know if it was going to happen. So there might be food. And if there was food, there would be bountiful, lots of it. And my mother probably was bipolar. Thinking back to some of her bizarre behaviour, for example, one entire summer she made my brother wear lederhosen for no reason. And then another summer she bought a Davy Crockett hat and a mouth organ, and she spent the whole summer sitting on the back step learning to play Beautiful Dreamer. She never fed us. She never looked after us. That was a whole summer. And you just took it, we would say they're both mad. And we'd say that to each other as a way of being in therapy with one another, being in solidarity with one another, helping one another get through this. We knew it was bizarre. At the time, we knew it was bizarre. We knew it was not right. We knew we weren't looked after properly, and we would talk about it amongst ourselves. And we would mock them mercilessly. My mother had 9 brothers and sisters. We lived in the Irish community in Birmingham. So my identity was as an Irish person, but obviously I'm the only black person at the Irish Community Centre. My grandmother had two nanas. We called them nanas. I had white nana and black nana, and that's what we called them. And white nana hated us because we were black. This was not part of her plan. So I had a big, strong Irish identity. I thought I was an Irish child, even though I wasn't accepted by my grandmother. And then we had black nana, who despised us for being half white. She didn't like white people. And we weren't accepted by her and some of the black community. So we had that sort of going on in our family, but outside, so when I left school, my own surname is O'Loughlin. So Miss O'Loughlin goes for a job interview. They are not expecting a black person. And they go, oh, are you Mandy O'Loughlin? Yes, I am. Oh, yeah, the job's gone. I mean, right in your face. They didn't try and hide it at all. Not even a remote bit. And in 1974, when I was 14, the Birmingham pub bombings happened. And I went to school. And people didn't know I was Irish at school. You know, it was just Brummie accent, black Brummie. I hear what people think about Irish people. Like people speak about Muslims today, terrorists, dirty, should be shot, should be put in prison, why are they here anyway, blah, blah, blah. And all of this is being said to me because people feel confident saying it to me because they will never guess that I'm Irish. So the racism and the exclusion was a very powerful thing. Fortunately, one of the things about my mad mother was that she told us every day we were beautiful and wonderful and great. And we never internalised it.